Good afternoon. My name is Dr. Jeffrey Johnson, and I am President and Chief Executive Officer of the National Partnership for Community Leadership, and I am also the Vice Chair of the National Fatherhood Leaders Group. We are pre-recording an interview with Dr. Ron Haskins, who is a senior fellow here at the Brookings Institution, who is also a member of the National Fatherhood Leaders Group. This interview is being pre-recorded as part of a pre-conference policy and action forum, which will be held at the 12th Annual International Fatherhood Conference at the Sheraton Metairie, New Orleans Hotel on June 15th. The topic of the forum is the future of responsible fatherhood and healthy families. And it's my pleasure to interview Ron to get his thoughts for all you conference attendees out there, that's going to give some insight as to his thoughts regarding the way forward with responsible fatherhood and healthy families. With that, Ron, how you doing?
I'm doing well. And let me say first, I'm very sorry I can't be at your meeting. I would very much like to be there, but almost a year ago I promised to spend the entire month of June in Germany studying families. So it's impossible to be in Germany and New Orleans at the same time. So I'm sorry I can't be there.
All right. But we're just delighted that you granted us this interview. We thought it's so important that we actually pre-record your involvement because we think that you have a lot to say, and a lot of us have worked with you for years, think very highly of you, and we know that a lot of the conference attendees do as well.
Yeah, I was going to say, well, let them be the judge of that. You know?
Okay.
Yeah.
But Ron, the first question I want to ask you, you've been a former White House and congressional advisor, and you were a key player in the 1996 welfare overhaul, changing welfare as we knew it. And it's been 14 years since that time in 1996. I know you've seen a lot, and what I'd like to get from you is your thoughts of what have you seen as the evolutionary milestones in terms of public policy, particularly as it relates to responsible fathers, low-income families, since the overhaul?
Right. Let me say two things. Let me talk first about the mothers and then about the fathers.
Okay.
The reforms, of course, and the ones that got all the national attention were directed primarily at mothers.
Yes.
And the concern was that too many mothers became dependent on welfare. So the attempt of the legislation was to encourage, to provide incentives for, and if necessary, to force mothers to work. And that was done by telling mothers that, first of all, there's a 5